Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the... Let's try this again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Wow, you sounded so fantastic your second time around. It's almost like you actually exist.
Thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Child. I'm joined once again by a prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
It is wonderful to see you and your Funko Pops on this beautiful Thursday for a second time.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Zealeus came by with a surprise delivery to my house, and now it's time to do the show. And the show, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout, a weekly live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. If you haven't submitted your topic or your question, have no fear. At any time, you could drop it in one of the chats, be it on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, and we'll try to add it to the show. If we unfortunately do run out of time, we will add it to the very next show we do. So, without further ado, let us get into the news from this week. And of course, because we are basically, I think it's safe to say we're basically at the end of the year, as it is the 23rd of December.
I would think that's safe to say.
So, you know, we briefly talked last week about all these top 10 lists and, you know, my slight disgruntlement over top 10 lists and not really knowing if it's truly their top 10 list or if it's a sponsor-driven top 10 list or whatever. Let's talk about something that's also really enjoyable and affects masses of people, and that, of course, is when the ban hammer comes. And
ban the hammer!
There has been a brand spanking new round of ban hammering by Activision. They have basically, I think in the past couple days, they've knocked 50,000 cheater accounts from Call of Duty, Vanguard, and Warzone. They basically have, and this is of course always going to get into something that gamers, PC gamers, may have an issue with, and that is the fact that they have a new cheat bot that basically has super duper access to everything to make sure that you're not running anything that could influence the game. Now, of course, as many of you are probably aware, this is a constant battle between people who want to protect their stuff, and of course, companies want to make sure that they don't cheat, but also probably having a hidden agenda. But of course,
it's like a never-ending battle.
Activision, of course, and I'm going to believe Activision, says that it only runs when the game is running.
Just like the Sony rootkit of how many years ago? That, you know, it's not going to affect anything. It doesn't actually install a virus on your computer.
I vaguely remember many years ago there was a music studio that was putting some kind of hidden shit on their CDs that if you put on your computer, it was installing shit in the background to make sure that you weren't burning copies of their music, of course, only for that reason.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. And I think one of the other big problems with rootkit stuff is it creates a elevated basically security vulnerability, because a lot of these rootkits have to be installed usually at a kernel level or something very low level.
Yep.
And I've seen something like the most recent Java exploit with log4j, how prevalent these are. And let's be honest, a game developer, their highest priority is probably not patching these hacking softwares, especially if it's an older piece of software.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other issue you run into, is it's naturally creating a way to have access to your computer data to detect that hacking that the developer would otherwise not have. And when that happens, there's always going to be a way of exploiting it. And that's one of obviously the arguments against it, is it creates a vector of attack against people on the computer when there's already so many potential ways to do so already without throwing, there's already enough user error out there.
Yep.
that could potentially create a security vulnerability. And now you add in something outside of my own power to control, and it's truly like, damn. Of course, the unfortunate thing is, I mean, the reality is it's hard to play video games nowadays, especially newer ones, without a cheat software installed somewhere on there, whether or not they even tell you, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you mean anti-cheat software?
Yes.
The developer actually added their own cheat software. That's funny as hell.
So totally random.
Yep.
What this makes me think of. So I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's a song by a band out of Sweden called Amaranth. It's one of the bands I listen to, but it's the official esports song.
Oh dear God!
But what makes me think, it's a newer release, but it makes me think of, there needs to be like an official, like by one of these metal bands, like Ban Hammer song, where like when somebody gets the Ban Hammer, like it sends them like this Ban Hammer just in your face, like you've been banned.
Kind of like a Rickroll.
Actually, yes, like a Rick. Actually, you know what? It should honestly just be a Rickroll. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
that would work. That would actually be kind of funny if like you get an email that you've been banned and like here's a YouTube link to your footage in action. It's a Rickroll. That would
be awesome. That would be pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. I'm like, yep, you got me.
If I got caught, I'd be like, okay, or even better, I don't think a developer would actually have the stones of doing this, but they actually send a email of that nature to like their entire user base. Every person's like, you got banned. It's a Rickroll for all of them.
I think that old school Blizzard could have done it before the merger, because they would be like, no, okay. And if actually, you know, the company that could get away with it, I don't know why they would send this out, but the company that could get away with a Rickroll to basically their entire customer base is the Cards Against Humanity people.
That would make sense. Yeah, no, I could. That would work. That would work for them. Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. Old school Blizzard would have been one company who would be like, okay, you got it.
Well, they'd probably switch out. You know, they'd probably have like one of the World of Warcraft people singing. You know.
No, you know what it would be is if they send it out, it'd be Leroy Jenkins.
All right, we're going to talk about us banning your account. There's a 29.3333 repeating, of course. Chance that we're going to Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm just saying.
Okay, let's see. Of the developers today, I think what if they had multiplayer game would be Giant Bomb Games, Big Giant Games.
You mean Super Giant Games?
Super Giant Games. There you go.
The guys behind Bastion, Pyre, Hades.
Yeah,
and
they have such a robust history. I would say before Cyberpunk, it could have been Project Red Key.
Yep.
But that shot the pants on that. Speaking of, have you finished watching The Witcher yet?
No, I have not finished watching The Witcher. I
have not yet either.
I think I've got like 2 episodes left, I think.
Yep, I just finished episode 7.
Or maybe I'm on 6. I can't remember. Anyways, it's good. Look, here's the thing. The biggest issue, and this is, I'm not spoiling anything for anyone, so don't worry, but the biggest issue with the first season of The Witcher was when the fuck in time was this scene happening? Yep. And I love the fact that they poked fun at themselves in one of the episodes of the second season about just that.
I will say, when I rewatched season 1, I think over Thanksgiving break, actually, one of the days I spent watching it. And it actually like made a whole lot more sense having seen it once. Because the biggest problem I had, I think, really with season 1, just the time jumps, but they didn't make it clear there were time jumps.
Yeah, exactly. That's
about 2 or 3 episodes in, you're like, holy shit, they've been jumping time this whole time? That's to me what really, like, they almost needed like a spoiler warning, just so you know, we're not going to tell you when, but there's time jumps then you'd be like, okay, I can at least figure that out maybe. But the fact like you didn't even know, that was an interesting choice to me.
Well, I mean, it was like the first time it happened. It's like, oh, I haven't seen you in years. I'm like, what the last episode you were just buddy. What is going on?
Well, especially because in this, I mean, I think I can say this for season 1, the time jump from one time jump to another giant time jump, as you're saying, had like the same wizard dude in it. So you're a little bit confused when he's saying many years later, but it's the same. Like I get like, oh my God, I hate names. The Witcher's name.
Geralt?
My brain hurts. What?
Geralt?
Thank you. Wow, that was bad. Like Geralt, is going to look the same from like 40 years ago, whatever. That's fine. But like when the wizard's there and it's like the same person and he says it's many years later, that's what really threw me off, I think, in season 1. And it's like, huh? But watching it a second time I'm not going to lie, I cheated and had like a website open on my phone of like, what season, like what time zones are we actually talking about in these episodes?
No, I mean, I won't lie. I started watching I finally started watching the first couple episodes of Hawkeye on Disney Plus, and almost immediately I had to Google something because like, when did this happen? Because they do like a flashback to something that happens in one of the later Avenger movies, and I'd totally forgotten, and I was like, what is this? Oh.
What do you think of Hawkeye? Because I don't have Disney Plus, but I love Cliff Burton. So
far, it's very interesting. Now I've only watched like 2 episodes, but I mean they're both like 50 minutes in length. But I mean it's interesting. I don't know. It's still too early for me to give you my my full report. Now, at some point, I'm going to have to sit down and watch the rest of the Cowboy Bebop because I kind of stopped.
Ah, yes.
Especially after I learned that there was not going to be any more. But I also heard that there was they were going to they introduced Radical Edward into the later episodes, and it was just absolute horseshit. And so Ed is one of my favorite characters outside of Ein. I think Ein is my favorite character. But
interesting.
But yeah, no. And I've also been watching like a shit ton of other stuff. So, but yeah, no. When I stumbled upon an article, I think it was this past week, about the fact that that the guy who plays Geralt,
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. He actually like rewrote the death scene to his horse. Spoiler alert: his horse is gonna die.
No.
All animals die, damn it. But like we had talked last week. We talked last week about how some people are like, this dude, Henry Cavill is literally like the Witcher Bible. He knows everything. And apparently, when he read the script, he goes, "No, this isn't the way you should send off the horse." And apparently the director's like, "You know what? Fine. If you think you can do a better job, then you write the scene yourself." And he did it. And that's the scene they went with.
No, yeah, I mean, he knows the actual character of The Witcher. And like the thing, because I think originally they had it more of a. He was much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Curt and just blasé about it, basically. Yeah. Or made like a flippant joke.
Yeah.
But like, if you think of Geralt, like that's been like his one companion
forever
throughout many years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no secret that, Witchers don't have feelings. And so that's his one companion. So if there's we've all, a lot of us have had pets and we know how attached we can come to our pets. So it makes sense that Geralt, feelings aside, would have that attachment and recognition of that. And what's also interesting to me a little bit about Geralt is from a character is sometimes his interpersonal is a little bit lacking, but he sees it in others and like how they should interact. And good Lord, we have an interloper on the show.
Yay! Hello, Chip. No,
Hide your children.
Yeah. No, I think this is what you hope for when you cast people, is that they get so into it and they have a strong enough group around them to help make it awesome. Because I would say that there are quite a few individuals out there who are super duper into a specific genre or universe, and then they kind of fell flat. Basically, Fassbender and Assassin's Creed movie. I mean, that dude, he lives, shits, and breathes Assassin's Creed, but he needed a stronger team around him to make that movie actually worthwhile, from my understanding. I've never seen the movie, but that's all that I've heard.
I saw it. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't like the greatest thing I've ever seen on the face of the planet, but I've definitely seen worse adaptations. Have you ever seen Dead or Alive DOA?
No. Is that an Uwe Boll movie?
I don't think it actually is. Apparently, whoever directed it, I watched a video about it. It's like it was the last movie ever directed by that person. It's this video. I'll also send a link, but apparently, it's actually one of the worst adaptations ever. I'll see if I can find this link to put in chat. And apparently, it's just really, really bad.
That's not possible. That's not possible for it to be the worst ever. Have you not seen I will not watch it, but there are two movies out there that I'm sure take the cake, and that, of course, one of them being the Dragon Balls Hollywood adaptation movie, and then, of course, the all white Avatar movie.
Neither of which I have seen. In the Name of the King is probably the worst
Corey Yoon for DOA.
What's that?
The director's name was, or is, Corey Yoon for DOA.
Yeah, but watch that video sometime. It will give you just an idea of how absurdly terrible it actually is.
Have you actually seen like the video game DOA? It's not a whole lot of source material either. I mean, they tried to Mortal Kombat it, but swung and missed.
Well, apparently there's not an actual like arena fight scene in the entire movie. Like Mortal Kombat at least tried to have a tournament.
No, Mortal Kombat had. I mean, the original. They did the tournament. I mean, that's what the whole freaking game is about.
And we enjoyed Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. But yeah. No. Yeah. I honestly think that there's worse movies. There's probably worse movies out there than that. But
well, there's always a worse movie that you've never heard of.
This is true. But when it comes to video game adaptation into movie form, there's always going to be that one that people are going to be able to pull out of their ass and go, I see that movie and I raise you this one. Because there's always something.
That's what's so bad about The Name of the King, though, is you actually had like actors who could act. You had like Jason Statham. I forget who the bad guy is, but he's actually like a known actor. He actually knows what he's doing. So you have these people who actually know what they're doing in movies, but like the script and the dialogue is just terrible. There's no. I think they just mailed it in.
Was it Ron Perlman?
What's that?
Was it Ron Perlman?
No, Ron Perlman was one of the actors. He was a good
Ray
guy.
Liotta?
Yes. It's like they tried being intentionally. It's almost like they tried to be so bad it's good movie. But when you do that,
it's a U-Bowl movie.
Bad. Well, yes, it's U-Bowl.
Need I say more?
Like, what is it he does that makes him so bad? I just don't. It's so annoying.
He magically finds the way to convince people to make the movie. And then he just goes off the freaking rails on just like grabbing random pieces of like lore and trying to make a movie out of it. That's my best guess. I don't know.
And terrible dialogue.
Right. Random pieces of lore. I'm not even talking about. I'm surprised they even speak. It's just not random actions. I mean, it could be, what was it, Blood Rain, where the last like 10 minutes of the movie was just like a bloody recap montage.
I cannot
actually dying over and over again
to watch Blood Rain 2. Like, it's sitting there on my Amazon queue, sitting there just waiting to watch. I just can't press myself to press play. I have a pretty high threshold for punishment. But Blood Rain 2, because of just how bad Blood Rain was, first off, how do you get like the go-ahead to make Blood Rain 2 versus based on how bad number 1 was? You know, and have like, it's just going to be worse. So I'm like, hell no.
I think, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that U-Bowl just has some, like, you know, dirty, damning evidence on someone in Hollywood that he's like, I'm going to make this movie, and if you don't let me do it, I'm going to air some dirty laundry. Like, cool.
But then you actually get a lot of this development director movie from like Germany's like House of Art or something, like financed a lot of his movies or something.
Yeah.
It was like some government thing helped them actually make them.
Yes, the show that Germans can be good and make movies. I have nothing against Germans. I have German blood in my ancestral tree. I'm not trying to make fun of them. Just in case you have anybody out there who magically just got up in their feels. I feel like I have to, you know, in this day and age, we have to preface everything.
What's the fun in that? Now, apparently the last movie he made was... Wow. Wait, there's a Rampage movie? I did not know that.
Yes.
Rampage, President down. This bill will not be vetoed. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. It's bad.
Did you see it?
No, but I've heard nothing but bad things.
Oh, that's disappointing. There's a 2.5-minute trailer. Maybe that will like tell us all we need to know.
Probably. You could probably save yourself a shit ton of time with that trailer. Okay. So, some of you may know that that there is a company out there called Twitch that is a streaming platform. Some streamers stream on there. And some may even further know that Twitch is owned by Amazon. Well, a very interesting thing happened this past week. It turns out that Twitch had to ban its own Amazon channel because of breaking the guidelines and rules. Apparently, during the end of one of these like year wrap-up shows, I think it's a Spanish show that's live streamed. I'm not even exactly sure how to go with that one, so I'm just going to leave that chat for anyone who's watching the video. They can figure it out. But apparently, because one of the females on the show flashed the camera, they have been banned. And this is the first time that this has really happened, because apparently there's just this magic list of like Amazon Prime shows that are on the no ban list. And basically it's all of like, you know, the popular live shows. And this one got banned, which of course I understand. They showed a nipple. No, I don't understand. People love your bodies. Okay. And the other thing is that it's like one of those like late night shows too. So do we have to should the internet have like a, what is it called? Safe harbor rule?
Well, I mean, it kind of does based off of the content provider. The idea is like, or at least was, that if you're the host, like in this case, YouTube, and as long as you're not giving, in theory, preference to one type of speech over another, you can take reasonable measures to basically eliminate copyright, then you're not liable, is the basic theory. That's where Napster got sued into oblivion. It's because their intent was only to basically host pirated material. There was no attempt to actually do anything of use other than allow people to download free MP3s.
I'm so confused. I'm talking about the safe harbor rule, which means that the language restrictions and whatever get lifted later at night.
Oh, I thought you meant like the other safe harbor that I was talking about.
Are you talking about Pirate Bay?
No, like
once upon a time, ladies and gentlemen, when there was no type of streaming and you had TV, there was this rule or this magic time called the safe harbor. And after that time, you could get away with some extra language, not the full gambit of the words you can't say on TV, but you could be a little bit looser.
So do the same thing for the internet. Before 8 o'clock Eastern time, you cannot curse.
Oh, that would not go over well at all. No, I mean, like, well, I mean, see, it all comes down to the beauty of the internet, right? Because now you can, in every single culture, you have different do's and don'ts. And in the United States, which is where Amazon and Twitch is based out of, we are a bunch of prudes, and we do not like to show the human body off. Now,
your face defends me, sir.
If you were to try that shit in Europe, you'd probably be laughed out of the country or the continent. Doxed, Amazon, and Twitch.
Well, I mean, Amazon's been having its own issues with AWS going down 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they doxed themselves in the process.
It's like, we had to stop ourselves from doing what might be considered against company policy. Speaking of which, I think at this point, you know, let's just talk about their games to you, because I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone out there who's still playing New World or if Crucible's still a thing, I don't know. But they should probably just take all the money from that studio and just like do the universal DRM, not DRM. What do you call it? The music stuff, the takedowns that people get nailed for.
DMCA?
Yeah, DMCA. Just do the universal DMCA thing to just say, here, studios, here is a bucket of money that if you get all your panties in a twist, you can just pull from this for someone listening to a song that was in a game.
You mean because basically every single move that they've made with New World has basically further alienated the user base?
Yes.
Yeah. It's amazing how quickly they basically destroyed what was a very promising game, honestly.
It's almost as if they had no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed New World. I played it. And it's just, you get to a certain point where they continue to make bonehead decision after bonehead decision. I think the best analogy is there's so much competition for hours that you spend in video games nowadays. Mm-hmm. And people, and there's so much ways you can split your attention. I mean, think like when World of Warcraft and EverQuest were at its height, 10 years ago, there was obviously competition, but there wasn't all the same genre or these hyper games. There wasn't like 20,000 streaming services. Mm-hmm. Most people really sunk their eyes into just one of those. Right. That's not the reality anymore. And what I think 14 does better, and that's kind of what it comes down to, is it respects what we like the user's time. Meaning, if you're going to do something in Final Fantasy 14, like it actually enhances the storyline or your character or something. You're not just like games like New World and World of Warcraft that they end up doing is to require basically characters to unlock progression gates literally for the sake of unlocking progression gates. That's it. You're not really getting better or getting better stats. You're spending time grinding ways to then enhance your character, and you're just creating these insanely giant time sinks that frankly people just don't care for anymore. And there was a time I did it in World of Warcraft where we all did it and it was fine, but now you can't, I think, do that as a developer anymore.
It used to be a badge of honor. Now it's just annoying because you got so many other games on the on the sideburner that you could be like, well, fuck this shit. I'll just go play this instead.
Yep, exactly. And that's what's killing New World is it's like they've almost made it more grindy. And it's always in the language of, we want to give our user base a greater feeling of reward for now unlocking this new grind to do what you could have already done in the game, but now we're going to make it harder. No, terrible idea. And what's further happened is because now you're pissing off because originally it's like basically just PvP. And then they saw how many people, myself included, are interested in PvE. So now they started catering more towards PvE, which is fine for the gold release, but you needed those PvE players for the big PvP fights.
Right.
But then they basically pissed off all the PvE players, so you don't have enough players for PvP, and it's just big, bad downward spiral.
Yep.
My question is, so one of the games I'm really excited about being released in the West in about February 2022 is a game called Lost Ark. It's a action RPG, maybe MMO, not really, but action RPG kind of like Diablo. It's been out for a couple of years already in different languages, like Russia's a really popular one that streamers will play, actually. It's being published by Amazon Game Studios because they need the Western publisher for the release. So my kind of question is AGS, who's shown they don't know how to actually continue developing a game, going to try to get their fingers involved in Lost Ark, or are they going to allow Lost Ark, who's already shown they know how to develop a game, just do their own thing, and AGS is just going to rake in that sweet, nice money as the publisher and not try to influence them?
Well, to be honest with you, I think that if this, here's the thing, I'm happy to see that Amazon is very serious about expanding into the video game footprint, but I think that they would have been better off as a publishing studio and then adding developer credentials as they went. And with this Lost Ark thing, let's hope that they're just being they're hands off when it comes to development. Now, of course, it looks like Zealeus said, it is out in different countries, and so this is basically the way to get it published in the U.S. Hopefully, that's it. I
mean, that would be my guess because it is like if this was Lost Ark coming out for the first time ever worldwide, then there would probably be some finger mingling. But I think because it's already an established IP outside of the United States, they have more clout to be like, screw off AGS, we're going to do our own thing, basically. That'd be my guess, at least. But who knows with Amazon? You never quite know.
Who knows with anything at this point?
That is the beauty, is it not?
Hey.
But yeah, I will say that on February 11th, if Chip is still online, I'll be taking off that day to be playing that game. I don't actually know what the day of the week that is. It's probably Thursday, since that's when most new releases are, it seems.
Let me check real quick for Zealeus here. February the 11th falls on a Friday.
Sweet 3-day weekend incoming.
Ha ha ha! Hopefully it starts at midnight Eastern Standard Time, and it's not one of those like dick moves where you have to wait until 5 p.m. because it's a West Coast release and some weird ass like time change.
Although I have unfortunately learned, like, seriously, like when it comes to an online game, because it is an online game.
Yep.
Basically trying to do that, take the day off for the release is actually a terrible idea because inevitably the servers crash. You cannot actually play the game.
Or you spend the entire day stuck in a queue because of first day server issues.
That's why you take the day off, so you can click maniacally to get into the queue the second it opens.
Now, of course, if you are truly interested in the game and you want to be more than just the free-to-play gamer, there are Founders Packs available for those who are interested. There is a $15 bronze, there is a $25 silver, a $50 gold, and a $100 platinum Founders Pack.
And it's also free to play.
And of course, it will give you a head start, which will, so apparently, if you pay $15, you can start playing on 3 days prior, so the 8th.
Ooh.
If my math is correct, it said start playing 3 days ahead of official launch.
Yep, 3-day head start. You know, it's actually kind of interesting to be honest.
What's that?
So they have the 4 different levels
Mm-hmm.
that they almost don't do it like bronze level, you get 1 day, silver 2, gold 3, and platinum, you get like a week or something.
Dude, that would cause a riot.
Why? I mean, these whole loot box things caused riots when they first came out, and guess what? Now they're commonplace. Now it's just SOP, standard operating procedure. So why not add an additional money grab is really what it comes down to.
Because you get a bunch of extra crap.
Exactly. That's one of the extra craps you get is how early can you be one of the original players?
No, you get the silver supply crate that gives you a bunch of random crap that half of which you can't actually use because some of the items inside the silver supply crate are for level 20, 30, 40, and 50 adventurers. Wow, thank you. You just gave me a bunch of shit that I can use if I really grind in the first 3 days. But probably not. Hooray.
So I'm guessing you can only, it looks like it's one of those games where you're allowed like 1 or 2 characters because I know
they've got a character expansion slot.
Yeah, so based off of that, it's like, you're limited because there are classes. It's not like Final Fantasy 14 or Rift where like you could, on your one character, you can swap between different classes, which is one of my favorite features of those MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it would seem that with Lost Ark, like a lot of games, one character, one class.
It's bullshit. Yeah, well, you know.
I mean, if you're an ultaholic, having the ability to just change classes on the fly on that one character is one of my favorite features of games when they actually have it.
If they do it well.
True.
Because there's games out there that you can, you can switch things up, but then it breaks like a
yeah. I would say it's fair.
Yeah. So, someone apparently dug up a story from the early, I think it was it early 2000s? Yeah, early 2000s. Some of you may know of this franchise called Harry Potter. And apparently,
Harry Potter?
Yeah, in the early 2000s, EA had the opportunity to make a Harry Potter MMO, and they decided they don't have the staying power to pull that shit off, so let's not do it. So, man, what a missed opportunity that
Well, I mean, look at how well the Naniac, whatever that company's Harry Potter game went.
Oh, you meant the Niantic.
Niantic, thank you.
You're
I had
welcome.
the first letter right.
You got it close-ish.
You know what it meant, ish.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm actually surprised there's not more online Harry Potter games, to be honest. I'm surprised I mean, that would be like a natural MMO setting to set in, and you already have like X number of expansions ready to go, like literally from day one. The developers already have like a roadmap for the future. Now,
I'd be very curious to see how hands-on J.K. Rowling would be, though, with that.
Well,
because you would have to expand into the universe in different directions.
Well, at this point, though, I don't think publishers or developers want anything to actually do with Rowling the person, because she's pissed off her user base so much.
True.
Basically, one, because she's, some would say at least, she is transphobic and phobic and other things, so that's pissing off a portion. The other one is she
How the
keeps
hell-
on
She came out and said that Dumbledore was gay. How is she transphobic?
because she's actually made comments about people of gender.
Oh, lordy, lordy.
I don't have enough. That's why there's that. And there's also that she keeps on kind of changing the canon as far as the actual characters themselves go.
Okay, Lucas.
I'm just saying, hey, you're Mr. Canon himself. Okay?
No. That's like a page right out of George Lucas's book. Leave the shit alone, man. You know
she does not do that. Yeah. So I don't know if people would want. Now I don't know if they can develop stuff without her input though. Like that might be part of the contract. Is like I'm George frickin' Rowling, not wow.
J.K. Rowling.
You're messing with me now. I'm J.K. frickin' Rowling. I get to have a say in it, or could it just pay her off to basically be like, you know what, we're gonna do our thing. You just stay over there in the corner and get some proceeds.
You could pull the Disney act. The lady that wrote Mary Poppins hated Mary Poppins, so as soon as she died, they made the movie Mary Poppins Returns because she was no longer able to refuse it.
Well,
I'm not saying that someone should go murder J.K. Rowling. Okay, I'm just.
Well, it's like Stephen King hated the Shining version with Jack
Kubrick,
Nicholson, which is a fantastic movie.
Well, the thing is, like, Stephen King's work stands on its own. It doesn't need to be tweaked. So I understand. Now, was the ending to The Shining, the Stephen King Shining, as spooky as the Kubrick one? No. But still, I mean, it's, in my opinion, strong enough. I once again, I'm a purist. If I think that the shit is good enough to make the leap from book to movie, then don't change it. Okay? If you think, oh, this sounds like an interesting universe to make like a small little story within it, then sure, yeah, make your own shit. But when you're trying to take on the main characters, of the series, and you put them in the spotlight, don't deviate from what they are and what they do. And if you do, make sure that the creator or owner of the IP comes out and emphatically supports this. Just make sure they hide all the bundles of cash that they're probably holding underneath the desk.
All the cash shall be mine.
All the monies are mine. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Harry Potter, the MMO, could have been humongous.
Well, here's the question, though.
Yeah.
Now that we're past, like, the OG Harry Potter, and now you've got these Fantastic Beasts Harry Potters, do you set a Harry Potter MMO in the world of Hogwarts as we knew it through the 7 OG books, or do you go, like, maybe do it, like, post, maybe in the world of, like, Harry and Lily's kids? So it's not the original world because now you're setting with that type of circumstances.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think this is just a case of you don't. Of course, I mean it would have to be before. I personally would think that would have to be before Deathly Hallows, because Hogwarts basically is blown up. I mean, they rebuild it, but I mean it gets basically blown up. But I mean, you could, with that MMO, in my honest opinion, you could put it anywhere between Tom Riddle's Expulsion and Deathly Hallows, and just be a student that participates in the things and gets into slightly less spectacular trouble than Harry Potter.
Well, that's actually what Defiance, the video game, did really well, I thought, actually. Is it still had it was in the same exact universe as the main characters, whose names I cannot remember. Fantastic show, by the way. If you have not seen, highly suggest it. But it was in the same universe, and you got to interact with them, but you were like in your own. Okay, so what about this? What about a Harry Potter MMO at one of the other Wizarding Worlds? Or do they need to actually be at Hogwarts to get that extra moonies from people being familiar with that universe?
I don't know. To be honest with you, let's just say they give you the option to go to the other schools. How about that? I mean, the thing about the Defiance MMO was that the show takes place in St. Louis, or what was St. Louis. I think they call it, what do they call it? Freedom? Or no, it's the city of Defiance. And then the MMO took place in San Francisco, and there was some crossover where some of the characters from St. Louis would go over to San Francisco. And just for Zealeus's, for his own benefit, it was Nolan and Arissa as the two main characters.
Oh, yes.
And then you had Amanda Rosewater as the mayor. But no, I mean, the thing is, when you have that strong of a universe, be it Harry Potter or Star Wars or World of Warcraft or something like that, I understand the need to try to put in the big names, but I think that if you're making a game, or hell, even like a TV series, as long as you kind of drop the names in there, I think you're fine. But that's my opinion. I mean, then you have in a slightly different vein, you have those individuals out there who try to keep certain like beloved universes alive, and do fan projects, and they get smacked upside the head when it catches just enough attention. The recent, I think it was there's a recent bundle release of the Grand Theft Autos that caused a bunch of fan sites to close down, with a bunch of apparently phenomenal mods to really breathe life into some of the older Grand Theft Auto games. Of course, you've got the Zelda fan-made movie called Hero of Time. You had the lawsuit where Gene Roddenberry's estate went after these not amateur, independent filmmakers for making a Star Trek movie. And the Star Trek the fan-made movie was actually able to win because they didn't technically say it was Star Trek. They were speaking Klingon, which you cannot copyright. So booyah on that, ladies and gentlemen. And I think I lost Zealeus again. Sad day. But hopefully he heard that. I'm going to try to get him back. Uno mementos. There he is. There's the Zealeus. There's the man. There's the myth. There's the legend.
Usually you're the one with shitty internet. What's going on, man?
I don't know.
Actually, your internet's been good lately.
Have you been bad-mouthing? Well, that's not 100% true. You should have seen one night the internet went absolutely bonkers and caused all the Alexas to give off a warning. In the middle of the night. That was fun.
Warning, the world is coming to an end. The world is coming to an end. The world is coming to an end.
Exactly. Basically, yeah. Balls. I forgot what I was going to say now.
Is it about the world coming to an end?
Possibly, but I don't remember. I don't recall at this point. But anyways. Yeah. I forgot.
I don't know either. I'm so confused.
I feel like there was another topic we were going to talk about, but I can't remember what it is now.
How do you not know?
I don't know.
I thought you knew everything, sir.
Oh, fun little side story. As some of you may have noticed on Discord, I did make mention that YouTube lost all the Disney channels, and I quickly had to jump over to the Hulu bandwagon, not because of Disney, but because of ESPN's. Because we were in the process of watching something on one of the ESPN channels, And literally, as soon as I posted that, like the day after, they went dark. Like they lost everything. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I jumped, and within like I guess 16 hours after I made the Hulu jump, like we've got it back. I'm like, haha, I'm not coming back, assholes.
It's like, do enough people actually make the jump where they're like, we need to change this? Because
no, I'm pretty sure that as soon as that email came out, and then shortly after, all ABC, all Disney, all ESPN dropped. I'm sure there was a mass exodus, and then YouTube basically bent over backwards and pleaded incessantly to Disney to take them back.
Now, how long then until, for those of us on YouTube TV, are going to see a nice little price increase to make up for that?
You will probably see it next quarter. I
definitely expect to see one.
So it won't be now. Let's see here, December. You'll probably see it in March, would be my guess. You see the price hike in March. A $10 or $15 increase to make sure that they keep the top quality, to continue to be the top quality provider that they are.
And they're going to add in another 3 channels that nobody actually watches.
Yes. It's going to be, I don't know, insert random channel that no one watches.
The channels actually play YouTube TV to be hosted on their platform.
Yes. Something like that.
But what do we know, man?
We know nothing.
So the real question is, are you excited for the holidays that are coming our way?
Once I'm done with work, because I will be working up until I need to go to Christmas Eve dinner. But yeah, sure.
You have to go to Christmas Eve dinner for work?
No, I said I will be working up until Christmas Eve dinner.
Ah, I see. That makes more sense. I was like, oh, you could go down to your job for Christmas Eve. That sounds terrible.
Nope.
Sounds like
family.
a bad idea.
I'll be with family.
Nice.
Indeed.
I'm sure they'll be super excited to have you around.
Of course, I hope so.
Okay, I hope so too, man.
But, yeah. Holidays. Gotta love them. All that jazz.
Yes. I enjoy the sleeping in that comes along with them.
What is the sleeping in to speak of? There is no such thing when there's children in the house.
You'll rediscover it someday.
No, I won't.
You know.
No, I won't.
I'll sleep in for the both of us. Don't worry, sir. I got you covered. I got you back.
That's going to happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is abundantly obvious that we have run out of topics. As it is close to the holidays, I guess the only thing I can say is to spend time with your loved ones. Love one another. Stay out of trouble.
And we love you all here at Ultra Confusion doing the thing with the stuff where we play video games. What will be your holiday video game of choice?
What will be you mean what video game will I play over the holidays?
Yes.
Okay, because my holiday, I don't think I've ever really gotten into a Christmas themed video game. I mean, you've got like the MOBAs and stuff that like will throw candy cane art on top of everything, but I don't think there's like a Santa game or something.
Actually, you know what really annoys me?
What's that?
So with companies doing things, you're like, you had such a simple opportunity here. So Blizzard, they have a couple fantastic Christmas theme maps, like Kings Row in Blizzard World. They're just gorgeous. Like I just want to sit there and like wander around them during the Christmas season. They really just need they have like custom modes. So you got like competition mode, you have free play mode, and then you have like usually like rotating like variations of that, like deathmatch and other stuff. They need one mode that's just Christmas maps. People would eat that shit up. Or
would they? Or would they be offended?
Oh, I'm going to throw this battery at you.
It's not my holiday.
If they had that, I would actually be logging. I'd be like, I got to go. I'm logging into Overwatch to play my Christmas theme maps. Because damn it, I want to go play Christmas Overwatch now. but you don't know if you're going to get those maps, and it makes me mad. I'm so mad I'm hitting my microphone.
Yeah, I saw that.
No, like, but it's things like that where it's like there would be a demand for it because everybody loves them. Like, they just do. And sometimes I wonder, like, why developers not just do these simple quality of life things like that?
I don't know. You would think that they would be able to just, pull them out of storage once a year and dust them off and maybe change a couple pixels and call it a day.
But they put them into rotation for the Christmas holiday. That's not the problem. The problem is they're in the rotation with all the other maps.
Yeah.
So there's like a 1 in 3 chance you'll get the Christmas theme map.
Boo.
I want to play just the Christmas theme maps. That's it. Well, during the holiday season, I get not the rest of the year. But during like this week, it's actually an event in Overwatch. It's like the Christmas holiday Overwatch thing where you get like special skins and stuff for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So just have like a Christmas only theme rotation in the maps. But you can join it. It's like an option. Like, it's not like all of your competition maps are those. It's just like a special play mode for people who want that is why.
Because it's different and special and no one wants that. I don't know. I don't know.
Look, Overwatch is dying. Just little things in life to maybe keep it going.
Now, I would think some people would even stretch that a little further and just say Overwatch is dead at this point because they keep screwing themselves over.
I mean, yeah. There was a thread on Reddit the other day, and basically it was an Overwatch. It's like, this game is so much fun, and I keep on coming back, and I don't know why. And basically it was like a support thread for people who like keep on coming back to the game that abuses them, even though we know that we should not be coming back. Because we know there's no new content coming out. Like, we keep on coming back, thinking it's giving this new shiny thing, and it's not.
Well, I mean, it had so much potential that if you give it enough time, you come back. It's got to be better, right?
The grass is always green on the other side, rose-tinted glasses, all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about Overwatch is every once in a while I get the nostalgia to kick back up, kick the tires. And like 3 or 4 matches in, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the same exact game I played 2 months ago. That's what's frustrating.
Indubitably. Very frustrating. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let you go. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie. You all right there, Zealeus?
It's just a battery. It's fine.
Right.
Rose will go heat it.
For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving everything come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday or the following Thursday. I don't know because of the holidays. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, stay true to yourself.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.